Tiny Ghosts is a mixed media photography project that attempts to tell an entire story in only 2 sentences. Every week, a new one is available to read at tinyghosts.com. I wish I loved myself as much as I love other people. Lying on the roof like this, watching the sunset reflected in your brown eyes, I can't help but feel that this is what heaven looks like. Hush now, she told him softly, squeezing his hand tighter. The show is about to begin. Darling, my love for you is so strong that no force in heaven or hell could ever tear me away from your side, no matter how many exorcists you hire. He named his daughter Hurricane. He felt that if you could name a storm after a woman, why couldn't you name a woman after a storm? It's been 8 years since that night, but I'll never forget what she did for me. It sounds silly now, but every Christmas when I was little, I'd ask Santa to get me a flying carpet. Of course, when my parents finally bought me one, I crashed it in the first hour. I heard that fractals are mathematical objects where every single tiny part looks exactly the same as the whole thing. So, in theory, if I just study this grain of sand deep enough and hard enough, I'll be able to see the entire universe. And I'll finally be able to pinpoint what I did that made you leave me. One Thursday in February, she was walking in the park and found a door into summer. Or maybe it was hell. Either way, she smiled because she knew she'd never have to wear her itchy woolen coat again. Each time I leave here, I'm leaving for good. Each time your love brings me home again. You keep proving your theory that you can't fall off the floor, but you've had me stuck to the ceiling for weeks now. Oh, if you happen to hear a sort of scratching noise coming from the basement, just try to ignore it. It's just something I keep handy to help me get rid of hiccups. The scientists say that inside a black hole, all information is lost and everything that goes in is forever irretrievable. If I could just get this damned rocket ship finished, I'd finally be able to rid myself of this guilt. I just read today that chaos theory means that a butterfly flapping its wings in the rainforest can cause hurricanes in America. So, lay off the deforestation and pollution, or we're gonna start making trouble. When the interdimensional gate finally opened, I only had a second to decide if I wanted to jump through into an alien world filled with wonders, or remain forever in this mundane, lifeless little town. I've regretted my choice ever since. From the time they are children, people around here are told to avoid the woods because it's full of monsters. But I've always found the cities to be scarier. Darling, these days when I talk to you, it seems like you're a million miles away, when really it's only 6 feet. For years, I lay in bed sleepless, scared out of my wits by a faint scratching coming from the attic. One night I summoned all my courage and went up there, armed only with 2 glasses of milk and cookies enough for both of us. Don't feel alone, she said to him, clutching his hand tightly. You're not the only one who's dying inside, you know. 30 feet below this graveyard, a ghoulish army toils away in dark tunnels, bringing fresh coffins downward to hidden idols of horrific gods. But don't worry, I'm pretty sure they can't hear us up here on the surface. The people who live upstairs seem to talk about tolerance and equality a lot. But when I come to visit, they just scream and throw rocks at me.